What kind of coffee do you make? Get this out of here.
The coffee cup shattered. Nyelle's hand froze mid-reach. Brown liquid spread across white tile, steam rising like breath in winter. She didn't move, didn't speak, just watched the stain grow. Clean it up. Caleb Rourke stood too close. His voice carried across the café. Meant for everyone. The morning crowd went still, laptops glowing, conversations dying mid-sentence. Nyelle reached for the towel at her waist. No! He stepped closer. Use your hands. Her pulse kicked once, hard. She kept her eyes down, the way she'd learned, the way that kept her safe. But Caleb wasn't done. You people always got an attitude. Louder now, performing, walking around like you're too good for this job. Before you continue, drop a comment below. Have you ever stayed silent when you should have spoken up? Someone shifted in their seat. No one stood. Nyelle straightened slowly, towel in hand. I'll get a mop. I didn't ask what you'd do. His finger jabbed toward her face, stopping, an inch away. I told you what to do. The cafe smelled like burnt espresso and fear. 20 people watching, not one moving. She bent down, reached for broken ceramic. Then Caleb's hand cracked across her face. The sound cut through everything, sharp, final. Nyelle's head snapped left, her ear rang. The room spun once before settling into perfect, terrible silence. She tasted copper. Her cheek burned, but she didn't cry. Not here, not for him. Caleb laughed. That's better. Know your place. The door opened behind them. Nyelle felt it before she saw it. The way air moves when something heavy enters a room. The way people stop breathing when they sense danger they can't name. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate. She didn't turn, but Caleb did, and something in his face changed. What just walked through that door? Comment your guess below. The man in the navy suit didn't rush. He moved through the cafe like water finding level. Inevitable, quiet, unstoppable. His shoes made no sound on tile. His expression gave nothing away. Kang Seojin stopped 3 feet from Caleb. He didn't look at him. He looked at Nyelle. Her breath caught. She knew that face, those eyes, the way he stood like the world had already agreed to whatever he decided. Step back. 2 words, no volume, no threat, just fact. Caleb scoffed. Who the hell are you? Seojin's gaze finally shifted, calm, cold, the kind of cold that burns. Someone who doesn't repeat himself. Silence stretched. Caleb's jaw worked, trying to decide if this stranger was serious, trying to remember how to be the loudest man in the room. She's fine, Caleb said, forcing a grin, just teaching her some manners. Nyelle pressed the towel to her face. Her hands didn't shake. She wouldn't let them. Seojin's eyes returned to her, not scanning, not judging, just seeing. The bruise forming, the blood at the corner of her mouth, the way she held herself together with nothing but will. He spoke again, still quiet. You have 6 hours, Caleb blinked. What? 6 hours to apologize, publicly, compensate this establishment, and disappear from this block. Seojin reached into his jacket, pulled out a black card. No name, just a number embossed in silver. He placed it on the nearest table. Or, Seojin almost smiled, or you'll learn why some people stay invisible. He turned, nodded once at Nyelle, so small no one else saw, then left. The door closed. The cafe exploded into whispers, but Caleb just stood there, staring at the card like it might bite. Nyelle moved, like nothing happened, wiped the floor, picked up ceramic, ignored the burning in her cheek and the murmurs swirling around her. Who was that guy? Some boyfriend. Did you see his suit? She carried broken pieces to the back, let them clatter into the trash. Her manager, Lou, appeared in the doorway, balding, nervous, perpetually sweating. You okay? Nyelle nodded. That guy, Caleb, he's been flagged before. I should've. I'm fine. Lou shifted. The other guy, the one who... Do you know him? She didn't answer, because the truth was complicated, and 6 hours was already ticking. By noon, Caleb was still there, sitting in the corner, phone pressed to his ear, voice rising with each call. His confidence was cracking. Nyelle watched him from behind the espresso machine, steam hissing between them. He kept glancing at the card, at the door, at her. 2 hours left. Lou hovered near the register, wringing his hands. Maybe we should close early. I don't want trouble. Trouble was already here. Nyelle wiped down the counter. Calm, methodical. The way Seojin had taught her without words. Be present, be aware, never show fear. Caleb stood abruptly. His chair scraped loud. He crossed the café in 4 strides, eyes locked on Nyelle. You think you're special? His voice shook. Not anger, something worse. You think some rich guy scares me? Nyelle met his gaze, said nothing. I'm not apologizing, I'm not paying, and I'm sure as hell not leaving. He leaned over the counter. Tell your boyfriend he can... His phone rang. Unknown number. Caleb's face drained. He answered, listened, then his hand started shaking. No, I didn't. Please, The call ended. Caleb stared at the phone like it had betrayed him. Then he looked at Nyelle. Really looked. And for the first time all day, he was quiet. Nyelle's hands remembered the keyboard before her mind did. Legal documents, rows of names, files marked confidential, urgent, sealed. She'd been 23, hungry, desperate to prove she belonged in rooms where people spoke in polysyllables and wore ambition like cologne. The law firm of Brennan and Associates had hired her as a legal assistant. Bottom rung, fetch coffee, organize files, be grateful. She was, until files started disappearing. Not missing, vanishing. The kind of intentional gone that left no trace. And the people attached to those files. They stopped showing up to court, stopped answering phones, stopped existing in any way that mattered. Nyelle noticed. She always noticed. Small things, patterns. The way Attorney Brennan's door stayed closed during certain calls. The way paralegals avoided eye contact when she asked questions. The way money moved through accounts that shouldn't exist. She told her supervisor. Fired within a week. Budget cuts, they said. 2 months later, her car veered off the road. No ice, no mechanical failure. Just another vehicle that appeared from nowhere, clipped her rear bumper, sent her spinning into a guardrail. The driver never stopped. Nyelle survived. Barely. That's when Seojin found her. Not rescued. Found. He appeared at her hospital bedside like he'd been expected. Tailored suit. Calm expression. No flowers, no pleasantries. You asked the wrong questions, he said. Nyelle's ribs screamed, her vision blurred. But she heard every word. They won't stop. People like Brennan don't leave witnesses. He sat. But I can make you invisible. The kind of invisible that keeps you breathing. Why? Because you see things. Seojin's eyes held hers. And that makes you valuable. 6 months later, she was serving coffee across from one of his shell corporations. Watching, listening, recording patterns no one else noticed, including Caleb Rourke, who'd been meeting with Brennan's former associates in her café for 3 weeks straight. Seojin watched from the car. He'd been watching for months. Not every shift, that would be obvious. But enough. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Early mornings when Nyelle arrived first. Unlocked the café. Moved through the space like she owned nothing and feared less. She hummed sometimes. Old songs. The kind grandmothers taught. He'd looked up the lyrics once. Spirituals about rivers and freedom and making it home. She didn't know he listened. Didn't know he'd traced every route she walked, memorized her schedule, placed people at intersections she crossed. Not bodyguards, just presence, insurance, protection without permission. He knew it was wrong. Knew she'd hate it if she found out. Did it anyway. Because Nyelle Brooks didn't understand what she'd stumbled into. Brennan's network wasn't just laundering information. It was feeding something bigger. Something Seojin had spent 5 years dismantling piece by piece. And now, Caleb. Loud, stupid, dangerous in the way careless people are when they think they're untouchable. Seojin's phone buzzed, his second in command. Jun, voice clipped, efficient. Rourke's making calls, panicking. He mentioned her name. Seojin's jaw tightened. Handle it. How? Quietly. The line went dead. Across the street, through the café window, Nyelle moved behind the counter. Bruise blooming on her cheek. Blood wiped away but still visible if you knew where to look. Seojin knew. He always knew. His hand curled into a fist. Then released. Control. Always control. But watching her hurt. Watching her hold herself together while a room full of people did nothing. Something cracked. Not broke. Cracked. And through that crack, something old and unforgiving crawled out. Caleb Rourke had 4 hours left. Seojin intended to be generous. What do you think handled quietly means? Comment your theory. Caleb left the cafe at 4:47 p.m. Nyelle watched him go, his shoulders hunched, eyes darting, the swagger gone, replaced by something that looked like prey recognizing a predator's scent. He didn't apologize, didn't pay, just ran. The cafe exhaled. Conversations resumed. Lou stopped hovering. Regulars went back to pretending they hadn't witnessed anything worth remembering. But Nyelle's hand trembled when she reached for the next order. She hid it, gripped the counter until her knuckles lightened, breathed through her nose the way she'd learned in those first terrified weeks after the accident. Her shift ended at 6. She clocked out, changed in the back room, pulled her hair down, letting it fall around her face like a curtain. The bruise had deepened, purple spreading toward her eye, impossible to hide completely. Outside, the Chicago wind bit through her coat. She walked 3 blocks before she felt it. Being followed, not Caleb, someone else, someone quieter. Nyelle didn't speed up, didn't look back, just kept walking, counting steps, mapping escape routes in her mind. 2 more blocks, then a car pulled alongside her. Black, expensive, window lowering, Seojin. Get in! Not a request. Nyelle stopped. I can walk. I know. He leaned across the seat, opened the passenger door. Get in anyway. She should refuse, should establish boundaries, should remind him that protection didn't mean ownership. But her face hurt, and she was tired, so she got in. The car smelled like leather and something else. Cedar, maybe. Clean, controlled. Seojin pulled into traffic without speaking, his hands steady on the wheel, his expression unreadable. Where are we going? Nyelle asked. Somewhere safe. My apartment is safe. Your apartment has 1 exit and no security. His eyes flicked to her. That's not safe. That's convenient. Anger sparked. You don't get to decide. I already did. The words landed like stones. Nyelle turned toward him fully. Seojin. He didn't look at her. You can't just intervene every time something happens. I didn't ask for this. You didn't have to. That's not how this works. Finally he looked, and the control she'd always seen, the measured calm, the calculated distance, it wavered. He hit you. 3 words, quiet, devastating. I know. In front of 20 people. I know. And they did nothing. Nyelle's throat tightened. That's not your fault. But it's my responsibility. Why? The question burst out. Why is it your responsibility? I'm just... Don't. Seojin's voice dropped. Don't finish that sentence. Silence filled the car. He pulled over. Somewhere Nyelle didn't recognize. Industrial area. Empty. Seojin killed the engine, turned to face her. You think I watch you because you're an assignment? His jaw worked. You think I placed you there and forgot about you? I don't know what to think. Then let me be clear. He reached out, slow, giving her time to pull away, and his fingers brushed the edge of her bruise. Featherlight, barely contact. Nyelle's breath caught. I watch you, Seojin continued, because 6 months ago, you walked into my world asking questions no one else dared to ask. Because you survived something meant to kill you. Because you hum spirituals when you think no one's listening and you arrange flowers in the cafe window every Monday even though no one told you to. His thumb traced her cheekbone. Because you matter. Nyelle couldn't speak. And when someone who matters gets hurt, he pulled back. I don't ask permission to fix it. I just do. That's not. Her voice cracked. Seojin. I can't be someone you protect. Not like this, not without choice. You have a choice. Do I? She gestured at the car, at him, at everything. You decided to intervene. You decided to follow me. You decided. I decided to care. The admission seemed to cost him. And I can't undo that. The space between them felt charged, dangerous. Nyelle's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered without thinking, breathing on the other end. Heavy, deliberate. Then Caleb's voice, slurred, desperate. This isn't over. The line went dead. Seojin's expression went cold. Give me the phone. Seojin, now. She handed it over. He made one call, spoke 3 sentences in Korean. Ended it. What did you do? Nyelle whispered. What I had to. That's not an answer. Seojin started the car. Caleb Rourke will never bother you again. How can you promise that? He looked at her, and she saw it. The thing he kept buried. The reason. People feared him. The part of him that didn't negotiate or compromise or show mercy. Because some promises aren't optional. Nyelle didn't go home. Seojin took her to a building she'd never seen. High-rise, glass and steel, the kind of place that required codes and clearances and money she couldn't imagine. Where are we? My place. She stopped in the lobby. I can't. Guest room, top floor. No one knows you're here. He pressed the elevator button. You'll be safe. I need you to be safe. His voice cracked. Just slightly. Just enough. Please. So she went. The apartment was minimalist. Clean lines, no photographs, no personality, just space designed to be unreadable. Seojin showed her to a room. White walls, simple bed, window overlooking the city. There's clothes in the closet, food in the kitchen. Stay as long as you need. He turned to leave. Seojin. He stopped. Thank you. He didn't turn around. Don't thank me yet. Then he was gone. Nyelle sat on the bed, the adrenaline finally crashing. Her hands shook, her face throbbed. Tears came without warning, hot, angry, relieving. She cried for 10 minutes, then stopped, because crying changed nothing. She showered, found clothes that smelled like detergent and something else. Him. Pulled on a shirt 3 sizes too big. When she emerged, Seojin was in the kitchen, cooking. You cook? Sometimes. He didn't look up. Sit. She sat. He placed a bowl in front of her. Soup. Korean. The kind that steamed and smelled like comfort. Eat. Nyelle picked up the spoon. You don't have to. I know. They ate in silence. After, Seojin cleared the dishes. Moved with practiced efficiency. When he finished, he stood across the counter. Close, but not crowding. I'm stepping back, he said quietly. Nyelle looked up. From the cafe, from watching, from he exhaled, from making decisions for you. Why? Because you're right. Protection without permission is just control. His hands grip the counter. And I won't do that to you. Relief and loss hit simultaneously. What about Caleb? Handled. Seojin, he's alive. His eyes met hers. Scared, relocated, but alive. That's still, I know. He pushed off the counter. Stay tonight. Tomorrow you decide. If you want distance, I'll give it. If you want out completely, I'll make sure you're protected from a distance. He started toward his room. And if I want neither, Nyelle's voice stopped him. Seojin turned slowly. What do you want? She stood, crossed the space between them. Small steps, heart hammering. I want honesty. I want choice. I want... She stopped in front of him. I want to know if what you feel is real or just obligation. Seojin's control finally shattered. He cupped her face. Both hands, gentle despite the calluses. His forehead touched hers. It's real, he whispered. God help me, it's real. Nyelle's eyes closed. Then stay. Stay. Here, tonight. Don't disappear into your room. Don't give me distance. Her hands found his chest. Stay. Nyelle, I'm choosing this. I'm choosing you, even knowing what you are, what you do. She pulled back to look at him. I'm choosing it anyway. Something in his expression broke open, and when he kissed her, it wasn't possession. It was surrender. Is she making the right choice? Tell us below. Morning came with consequences. Nyelle woke in Seojin's bed, alone, sunlight cutting through floor-to-ceiling windows, the space beside her still warm. She found him in the living room, on the phone, speaking Korean. His voice hard, clipped. When he saw her, his expression softened. He ended the call. Coffee? Nyelle nodded. They sat on the balcony. Chicago spread below them, tiny cars, smaller people, a world that kept moving while theirs had stopped. Caleb's gone, Seojin said. Drove to Indiana last night, won't be back. Did you? No. He looked at her. I made it clear what would happen if he stayed. He chose survival. Nyelle sipped her coffee. And Brennan? Still investigating, still building the case. Seojin's jaw tightened. But they know now that you're protected. Is that enough? It has to be. She set down her cup. What happens now? To us? That depends on whether you can live with what I am. He turned to face her fully. I won't lie about my world. Won't pretend it's clean. People fear me for reasons that are earned. I know. And you still. I still choose this. Nyelle met his eyes. But I need rules, boundaries. I need to know you won't make decisions about my life without me. Done. And I need to go back to the café. Seojin stiffened. That's not... I'm not running. I'm not hiding. Her voice hardened. That café is mine, my space, and I'm not letting fear take it from me. Silence. Then Seojin nodded. Okay. Your choice. Your rules. He reached across the table. But I'm putting security nearby. Not obvious, just present. Nyelle considered. As long as I don't see them. Deal. His hand covered hers. And for the first time in 6 months, Nyelle felt something she'd forgotten. Peace. The café felt different. Nyelle walked in Monday morning. Same uniform, same routine. But the air had shifted. Lou spotted her bruise immediately. Jesus, Nyelle, should you be here? I'm fine. That guy, Caleb, he won't be back. Lou's relief was visible. Good. That's good. Customers stared. Some looked away quickly. Others lingered, curious, invasive. Nyelle ignored them all. She made coffee, took orders, moved through her shift with the same quiet efficiency she'd always had. But something had changed. She wasn't invisible anymore. People saw her now, really saw her. Not because of the bruise, because she'd survived something public, endured something witnessed, and she was still here. Seojin didn't come, didn't call, gave her space like he'd promised. But at 2 p.m. a man entered, Korean, well-dressed, ordered coffee and sat near the window. Security. Nyelle caught his eye once. He nodded, she nodded back, and understood. Protected, but not controlled. Seen, but not owned. By closing, her face hurt less. The bruise was fading to yellow-green, healing. Her phone buzzed. Seojin. Dinner? Nyelle smiled. Her. Your place or mine? Seojin. Yours, I'll bring food. Her. Deal. When he arrived at her apartment that night, small, cramped, nothing like his, he didn't comment. Just handed her takeout and kissed her forehead. They ate on her worn couch, talked about nothing important, and when he left, he didn't ask to stay. Just kissed her at the door. Tomorrow? He asked. Tomorrow, she confirmed. And watching him leave, Nyelle realized something. This wasn't a fairy tale. No rescue, no escape. Just two people choosing each other. Complicated, messy, real. Do you believe in second chances? Drop your thoughts below. 3 months later, Nyelle arranged flowers in the cafe window. Monday morning ritual, yellow daisies today, bright against gray Chicago winter. The cafe hummed with life. Regulars knew her name now, asked about her weekend, tipped better. Lou had promoted her to shift manager, and across the street, behind tinted windows, Seojin's shell corporation operated exactly as it always had. But some things had changed. Brennan's network had collapsed. Quietly, completely. No headlines, no arrests, just people relocating, businesses closing, connections severing. Nyelle didn't ask how. She knew better. Seojin's world was still dangerous, still dark. But he'd kept his promise. No decisions without her. No protection without permission. When threats emerged, he told her. When he had to handle something, he asked first. Not perfect, but honest. Her phone buzzed. Seojin. Lunch? Nyelle smiled. Her. I'm bringing the flowers this time. Seojin. Looking forward to it. She glanced out the window, saw him in his car across the street, watching, not hiding. He saw her looking, waved. She waved back, and in that moment, Nyelle understood. Invisibility had never been weakness. It had been preparation. For this, for being seen completely, and choosing to stay anyway. The cafe door opened. A customer entered. Life continued, but Nyelle Brooks, once invisible, once hunted, once afraid, was none of those things anymore. She was protected. She was chosen. She was exactly where she needed to be. What did you learn from Nyelle's story? Share below and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.